Welcome.
Welcome to Switching Reels.
I was going to say that.
Hi, Connor.
Hello, audience! And also Trenton.
Wow. It's going to be fun. Woo! How are you doing?
I don't know. 'Cause
Nice.
I'll be honest, we watched this movie today and I was like, I have so many mixed feelings about it.
Really?
Most of them positive, but they're mixed in with some negative ones.
Big stirring pot.
Yep.
Many big feelings.
Which is difficult because I know that this is a very well-loved movie. And I think for good reason. That's the thing.
Yeah. What did we watch?
We watched Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind.
There's so many of those in this.
There is. There's too many.
Literally.
In the title.
Yeah.
Of the should happen once in a title.
And that's it.
Yep.
Nausicaa of the Valley Wind. Of the Wind Valley.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind.
Yeah, I mean, if you make it a subtitle, then that works too, right?
Exactly.
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Exactly.
Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
Agreed. But this is Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind.
Star of the Wars. Return of the Jedi.
Of the Phantom Menace. Of the Phantom Menace. I don't know, man. This is, I've now lost. I'm going to try and speak slower because I always speak very fast in these.
Okay.
We'll see how this goes.
All right. I'm going to speak at my normal speed.
You're normally pretty fine.
Oh, okay.
As it comes down to it, so.
I do need to look this up because I know that this one
on.
It is on the top 250 list, but I don't know where.
Nice. I think it was very good. So I'll go and start with my enjoyment and technical while you're doing that. Connor likes the song. All right. So Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, I would put, let me see. So for enjoyment, I'd actually put the solid 8 or 9, I think. I think I really, really liked this movie. It was very good to me. Technically, I would probably put it solid 8. Yeah, I think solid 8. Loses some points for just not even actually the pacing. The pacing was good. I love a story where you aren't entirely sure what the point is, because then I can't predict it.
This one got knocked off. It used to be on there.
Ooh.
It was for a long time.
Oof.
But I just put it in alphabetical and
Yep. Not there.
Nope, not there anymore.
Oof.
So that explains why I couldn't find it.
So far.
Second.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, is this better than Spirited Away? I think I'll talk about that after the spoiler wall.
But yeah, so I will say with this one, with our invisible tier list,
which will be here soon.
Yes,
promise.
I know you're working on that. I will say, like, for me, this is probably, again, within Miyazaki, right? Because I don't want this to be taken completely out of context. I'd say this is like a high C to a low B.
Really?
Yes. Again, within Miyazaki.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it mostly comes down to a few issues that I have with it.
Which we'll talk on.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't even need to be over the wall. The two biggest issues I have are, especially in the first part, there is way too much of the world and the story that are just kind of given to you in info dumps. The exposition in this film is not handled super well. The other thing is there are some, like, to me, baffling choices as far as soundtrack specifically.
Oh.
The amount of times where it's just like, oh, we're in an 80s like techno pop song in the middle of something that feels far more like expansive and epic and that kind of thing. It just pulls me out of it every single time.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I don't think that those are necessarily things that like every person has to be like, oh, this is just horrible now.
Absolutely.
But those two things have such a heavy hand on this movie that it just kind of knocks it down in those places for me.
Totally. So where's your enjoyment?
My enjoyment's still relatively high. It's probably somewhere around strong 7 to a light 8.
Cool.
Yeah.
Feels I get the vibe technical like a 6.
Technical on this one, if we're going across the board, it's still probably somewhere around like a strong 8 to a light 9.
Oh, nice. Okay. Just a couple nitpicks.
If it's Miyazaki, we're probably bringing it down to like strong 5 to a light 6. I expect a lot from Miyazaki as far
insane.
Well, okay. He has done some of the smoothest and most detailed anime movies of any director ever.
Yeah.
I feel like on his second movie in, I can say, you know what, that one did not quite reach the heights that his later films would.
This is very, very intriguing, and it's just because we have different opinions of Castle in the Sky.
Oh. Castle in the Sky, when we get there, I will agree some of the technical elements of it are not as good.
Which one is a good Miyazaki movie to you?
The Wind Rises?
Yeah.
One of the smoothest films I've ever seen. Also, one of the most powerful films, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we will. That's going to be a hot sec.
Tune
back in a couple months.
I love that one. Like, okay, you got to understand. This is one of those, like Nausicaa, any Miyazaki film. I'm not going into it for the technical.
Yeah.
I love the technical.
That is true.
But if I am grading something low on the technical scale for one director who is leagues ahead of anyone else, it doesn't mean that I dislike Nausicaa. And let's be honest, like a 5 to 6, that's still like an average to above average
of his movies,
which honestly shouldn't be the case. If that's the case, I'm bringing it down even lower.
Yeah, but I knew you were going to say that. I was like, oh no, we're evening the playing field now.
Like, you know, what makes a 1 for Miyazaki? The Castle Cagliostro.
I liked the Castle Cagliostro. I need to make these lists. These tier lists are going to be helpful.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
So
it's going to be good.
And I will say, like, this tier list, once we have it, it's going to skew for me pretty high. Like, most of these are S to A tier movies for me.
Just these first couple that you're like, nah.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't really have the resources to do the things that he was going to do. Nor did he have a lot of the points that he later made very intentional. I don't think he had kind of worked out yet.
Totally.
I think we see a lot of hints in this one of things that we'll see. Themes of environmentalism and anti-war and friendship and that kind of thing.
I have a great joke for Over the Wall. It'll be great.
Okay. But yeah, I think he touched on a lot of those things, but I don't think he had like a really solid idea of like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want my body of work to be aimed at.
That makes sense.
So
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
This will be exciting. All right. Going Over the Wall?
Sure.
Love it.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, comment, subscribe, everybody.
Or don't.
I prefer if you did. But if you don't, tell us why.
Dislike, then comment, then unsubscribe.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
We don't want you here. I'm sorry, we do want you here. I've met a few of you personally, and I don't.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
So thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. We have a new theme song, which is great. It'll probably change a couple more times over the next few episodes, but it's not that. But it is based off of something you hummed in one episode. So
yeah, and I am still shocked that
it's astounding.
That turned into a theme song.
So good. So if you like it, let us know. Comment what else you'd like to see. That was direct feedback from another one of our users. So, users. Anyway, let's get started. We're over the wall. It's a very long wall.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the main theme of this is go to war.
I'm pretty sure that's not.
I'm pretty sure it's the main theme. I'm pretty sure that everyone's just absolutely certain that war is the best option.
Except for our protagonist.
And should be the only thing you do ever.
Except for our protagonist. Who is at the end of the film shown to be mostly right, though I'm a little bit confused as to how that happens.
She's right. I don't know, she went ham on a couple people.
Yeah. But she didn't murder them. Oh, I guess the people at the beginning.
Yeah, she did.
She murdered those people. In fairness, they just kind of
killed her dad.
Came in and were like, this guy.
And then the ruler is like, lol, we're not here.
We're here to talk.
We're here to talk. Blood still dripping off the sword she killed the king with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. Characters, as always, were wonderful in this movie.
I would say he finally has good characters instead of characters like in the Castle Cagliostro.
I liked Wolf. And the hot girl.
She's just competence. That's all she is.
That's all you need in a person.
No, it's not.
It's just competence. That's what's attractive.
No, it's not.
I'm glad our wives only sometimes watch these.
You also need to have some sort of heart and desire to do things.
Like
just being competent, it's not enough.
To each their own.
You can't... Being competent is not striving for anything. It's just being good at what you do.
That's because you did work to be good at it.
Yeah, but maybe not because you wanted to.
Good competence.
Lots of people can be good at things because they have to.
True. And it's hot. Anyway, so the people are great.
You would be horrible to watch reality game shows with.
I don't watch very many reality shows.
Yeah, but I get the feeling that specifically the game show types, where it's like, oh, we have all of these games that people have to do in order to stay in and that kind of stuff.
You see, that's a different kind of competence for competence sake. That's just like they find these people. It's all set up to be entertaining. It's not what we're here for. It's not what we're going for.
Yeah, there's nothing redeemable about the people. So
I mean, we don't know that. They never tell us.
Everyone gets a villain edit.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going off the rails. What? Not going to disagree with you, but I'm going to question it.
Okay, good. So, characters, as we were saying, good in this movie. I liked the fact that I couldn't track where this movie was going.
Yeah.
For once, I was like, I have no idea where I'm going to be taken to next.
That actually is one of my complaints.
Really?
And it's not because it was unpredictable. It was because in some ways this movie feels a little aimless most of the time.
Oh, interesting.
Like, I understand that there are always like motivations for each character, but things are changing so quickly that it doesn't really feel like the story itself is leading to anything. It just kind of feels like we're being carted from one place to the next, and then you're just like, oh, the movie's over now. Like, we figured things out.
Real for that.
Okay.
Like, if you go and follow a story, like a typical storytelling structure, you know where the things will be. And this still did pretty much follow like an act or a, like the
let's say
Journeyman's Sword. What is it called?
Hero's Journey.
There it is.
I don't know. I feel like we're most of the way through the hero's journey when we start the movie. She's already crossed the threshold in a lot of ways. Which that entire first quarter is super important to the hero's journey.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Not to mention the fact that the death of the mentor and I forget what it's actually called. Journey to the Underworld? Is that it?
I can't remember.
Anyway, what in other things has been called the Dark Night of the Soul.
Yeah.
Are essentially the same event, and they also happen within the first 15 minutes of the movie.
That's a good point.
So, like, I don't know. I think there are some story things that make it feel squishy to me.
I felt like I was watching a really cool Spore documentary. Like, there's just
like
really...
the video game Spore?
Oh, no, that's... some of it felt like that, for sure. But, like, just about spores and about wildlife. Because our main character, if life had left her alone, would have just cracked the code. You know, she still kind of did at the end.
Yeah.
I was just like, what made this planet tick? And we're just following her. Be excited about the world. And then bad things happen to her.
I will say, like, I think the characters were pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
I think the world building was phenomenal.
Gorgeous.
And I think the story was by far the weakest element of those sort of three things that make up a story.
Yeah, setting was great.
Or a plot.
Great.
Plot was the weak point.
Lacking. I agree. And the conflict seemed meaningless at times as well.
Yeah. The amount of things that were just like, oh, we're at war with them because we're at war with them.
Exactly.
Like,
we have been forever.
I'm already forgetting the names of the nations, but...
Pierogies and turnips.
Yes. So the pierogies, every time they were were compared to the turnips, we're like, oh no, we're nothing like them. We're so much better. We would never do the things they did. And I'm like... I genuinely have no idea what the turnips have done to you that you are not like. Like, I really, really don't know. And so for me, it's really hard to be like, oh yeah, these are separate factions with different values that actually have like things that they're conflicting about, as opposed to just being like, we're at war because we've always been at war with Eurasia.
But see, I think that's part of what the story is. That's part of the theme. It's to go and show that, yes, maybe these people think they're fighting for a good reason, but eventually these people, and sometimes the people in the Valley of the Wind, just show up as being the other person because they are war. They are hatred, they're anger.
Yeah.
And that's what the point is that you can't accomplish anything good by being at war. And so that's why we don't care about if the pierogies or the turnips win. Because that shouldn't be a question.
And I understand that from a thematic standpoint. From a plot standpoint, I need to understand why they have this issue.
It's because one of them has nukes, and the other one had nukes, and then they stole it.
Kind of. But they're just going to use it on the insects.
We didn't know that. We're pretty sure we're going to use them on Russia. I mean...
Oh my gosh. I think I'm losing the plot of this conversation.
Okay, I'm back.
Why doesn't Nausicaa wear pants?
Why doesn't Nausicaa wear pants? Connor, that's what I said in the middle of the movie. And Connor was like, I'm pretty sure she is, and they're white.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's an awful white if it's nude. Why are you wearing nude pants? It was very distracting from time to time. We don't know how old this woman is, if she's even of age to be hot yet. And then she's wearing nude pants.
Because, as established, she's extremely competent. And so Trenton needs to know. Also, she's good and a human being.
And a human being.
Unlike the lady in Cagliostro.
Yeah.
So, I also need to know if she's hot.
If anyone knows if she's hot, please let us know.
Oh, no.
But no, I would agree that the plot was there to add some semblance of structure to the story.
Yeah.
But the amount of hot potato that Nausicaa goes through is insane.
Yeah.
We go from, oh yeah. Actually, okay, that gives me a perfect idea for a summary. Because it would be great.
Oh, yeah, we didn't do a summary.
We didn't do summaries.
Yeah.
I guess we'll do them here in the middle of the episode.
Yeah. Do you want me to do the summary first?
Do it.
Okay. Nausicaa starts out extremely competent, and then she becomes a prisoner, and then a not prisoner, and then a prisoner again, and then not a prisoner again, and the movie ends.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. You went for one of mine as well.
Yeah.
Good. Let's do this. All right. Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind, follows Nausicaa, who really likes trees, so we find her in the trees, and then she likes her home, so we find her in her home, and then her dad dies, and then we go over to the airship that crash lands, and there's a giant beating embryo. Why is that there? And then she gets...
Oh, yeah, I skipped over the embryo.
Yeah, you skipped because the embryo doesn't matter.
It's only important to the plot.
Which we're discussing right now. And then people come and look for the airship, so she gets captured and she goes into the sky, and then she goes back into the forest, and then she gets into the sky and she goes back to the city, and she goes back to the sky, and then she goes to the acid lake.
Yeah.
And then we're done.
Well, not quite yet.
Oh, that's true. But no, because she still just stays at the acid lake, and then she dies, and then the very large, not dune worms, make her alive again. Because they like her.
Yeah.
Because she's nice.
Yeah.
Because they ate her once, and we're like, yeah, this is a good person.
Yeah. Well, they didn't eat her. They wrapped her in spaghetti.
Oh, you're right. And the spaghetti told them that she was a good person.
The spaghetti told.
Unlike the other empress that has missing a hand.
And apparently more parts that her husband will find out about one day.
Like, such a strange flex.
Every time I've seen this movie and she says that, my first thought is, she's got a hollow boob. It's not even like, you know, it's not like there's any flesh there at all. You could just...
So glad I'm marking these explicit and not made for kids. Ooh, that's uncomfy.
If you're a child, please stop watching now.
You wish you would have said that 30 seconds earlier.
If you're a child, please stop watching 1 minute ago.
Right, the last minute from your brain. Oh, and also there's a Pikachu.
Yes.
And there's a very cute Pikachu.
And he has literally nothing to do with the movie, except a very small amount of thematic significance at the very beginning.
He is there to go and show that Nausicaa is a person that will do her best to not react towards things that are scared.
I feel like the scene with him biting her finger is like the quintessential, like, this is who Nausicaa is. Mm-hmm. This is how dedicated she is to pacifism kind of thing. Yeah.
Right before she goes kills 5 dudes.
Yep. Well, and then she, beats herself up about it for the rest of the movie, which, again, is a way to tell that she is a good human being.
Agreed. And I don't think she kills anyone after that. So
No.
follows through.
Yep. Honestly, like, I don't have a whole lot to say about this one.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason that I think I have it as low as I do.
That makes sense. It was a really good experience to have.
Yeah.
Like, it was a better experience than Castle of Cagliostro. Like, you had
absolutely.
a good time looking at it. And from what I've seen in this one, there's, like, echoes of, like, Princess Mononoke. And a couple of other future ones.
Yeah.
Which will be cool to go and talk about once we get there.
I would say this is a great sort of like stepping stone that Miyazaki went through before he, again, really found what his body of work was going to be.
Agreed.
So.
No, totally agree.
Yeah.
It was a generally good movie. I would recommend it. Watch it if you have time.
I would recommend it too, but only if it's either the only Miyazaki film that you have available or the only one that isn't Cagliostro. Or if you don't have or if you've seen the other Miyazaki films and you're just curious about the rest of his work.
Exactly.
No need to go further back than this, though.
I liked Cagliostro. It wasn't too bad. Just a little jarring from time to time.
And a little weak for the director's personal pedigree.
Movie.
It was his yeah, okay. You say that. You say that. Do you know how many directors had possibly their best movie as their first full length?
No.
Because I don't know all of them, but there's a lot. There's
then
a
they just
lot.
go down after.
Well, no, not necessarily. Some of them are just like... So I would say Tarantino falls into this. We haven't gotten there yet, but Reservoir Dogs is probably my favorite Tarantino movie of all time.
Oh.
That said, a lot of his other movies are still really great. It's just Reservoir Dogs is phenomenal. There are also the ones that made one great movie and then nothing good after that, like Donnie Darko. I want to say the director's name was like Robert Kelly or something like that. Anyway, he made one great film, and then he tried to follow it up with a movie called Sally Darko.
Oh.
And that one is holding like a 4 point something on IMDb.
Oh my god.
Donnie Darko's on the top 250 list. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are a lot of directors that make great first films.
Fine.
And I have a special place in my heart for a lot of first films, even if they're not the best. Wes Anderson's first movie was called Bottle Rocket, and I loved the shit out of it. Is it his best film? Objectively, no. Is it one of my favorites? Yes.
Yeah. That's fantastic. That's cool.
Yeah. I even like Following, which is Christopher Nolan's first film. And no one has seen that except for...
no idea what Following is.
Yeah. It's not on the list, and it shouldn't be.
And it shouldn't be.
It's not that good, but it is decent, and I enjoy it.
Nausicaa be on the list?
Nausicaa, I would put it on the list, but I'd put it pretty low.
It's not better than Iron Giant, so...
No, it isn't. And the other thing is that is only assuming that the list stays... or the list is completely restructured to the way I would have it.
Yeah.
Because with the amount of things that are on the list that I'm like...
Kick off.
I would kick it off.
Yeah.
There are a lot of movies that I have in the wings that I would fill before I would fill Nausicaa in.
Totally.
Dazed and Confused is one of those. Which...
I haven't seen that one either.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a slice of life movie, but it's one of the best slice of life movies ever made.
Those are nice.
Yeah.
I love slice of life movies.
And it's just like...
Like Kiki's Delivery Service.
We'll get there.
And see that one soon.
We'll get
I'm
there.
excited
And
for that one.
yeah. we've already discussed this a little bit, but I love Kiki's.
Kiki's is great.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have a good vibe session on Kiki's.
That one, I will. The only thing I'll be angry about with Kiki's is that it's not on the list.
Yeah.
And it really, really should be.
Kiki's is lovely.
I'd put that one on the list long before I put Nausicaa on.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So next week, is it Porco Rosso?
Oh, it can't be Porco Rosso already.
I don't remember what's next.
I don't either. Tune in next time to find out what we're watching.
We will be too. If you have anything you'd like to go and have us do next, let us know.
And if you're really impatient, just look up what is next chronologically in Miyazaki's filmography.
Yeah.
And you'll have the answer.
So, yeah. How do we end this?